million, yeah.
If methane then can dispel more carbon, then that would
student of comedy. You're not just there's actors. They could be naturally gifted and they go do their thing, they portray their characters, but you're deep into this.
I mean, you know, I've always been curious. But we're gonna get back and the NFTs. There's 10, and then you said there's posters as well, right?
I believe I talked to Andrew. He said 11, and then that are up for auction, and they're all removed scenes. They're all deleted scenes. Yeah. So the only way, and somebody can own these. You know, right now, if you go buy a DVD of a film, you go buy the Anchorman DVD. There's probably deleted scenes out there. You don't actually own them. You can just watch them. Right? It's kind of like a license. It's an agreement between the studio and the consumer that you're licensing it. But with these, you actually own this deleted scene. And because they're all one of ones, you're the only person in the world that owns that deleted scene.
Right.
I think it's mine, bitches.
Right. Someone else might be able to watch it, but you own it. It's like the Mona Lisa. You can go look at it, but you don't own it.
That's a really good. See, I expected from people who don't really know NFTs are like, well, what's the point of this picture? I can go take a picture of the Mona Lisa. There, now I own it. No, you don't.
No,
you own a picture of it.
You have a picture of it. You got to look at it. You don't own it. It's not yours. Yeah.
And the nice thing about the fact that all of the data around it is backed on blockchain means that there's absolutely no question as to what the authentic piece really is and who truly owns it in the first place.
Yeah. Getting people to start thinking in concept again. Because it's, well, more than concept. So NFT, if you could even extend beyond that, they are a genuine pathway to human equity. And by what I mean by equity is that everyone gets to have it. Everyone should be able to share in it. It could possibly relieve poverty. Is that correct or no? What do you think?
Well, it certainly opens up a ton of new opportunities to people who had a shortage of opportunities in the global market, and there's more and more being generated every day, especially as more projects dedicate themselves and their currencies towards empowering communities that haven't been reached by those aspects of global commerce. I'm really deeply curious to hear how you define, how you label crypto as philosophical. What is the philosophical value you see there?
Well, because people don't think about what I'm going to say, just the philosophy of money. This isn't real. It's an agreement. People don't ever think of it that way, right? But when you have to think about something I don't have in my hands, and then there's the belief, and then what do I believe in, and why do I believe in it, makes you start asking questions, and that's what philosophy is, right? Love of wisdom. I need more wisdom to have more love, to have more money. So in that regard, I believe that. And it's because it's a concept that people can't quite grasp. They have to level up their learning to get there. So it forces the everyday person to think in concept and philosophy, from my point of view.
David, I wish I could get everyone on the planet to ask themselves what money really is. I do.
Right.
I think crypto's leading to that, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't this knowledge of, because it's this new money, people are going, wait a second, how is this money? I thought this thing was money.
But it's the same as going to a different country and going, wait, I'm holding a pound? I'm holding a peso? Exactly. Now you're in possession.
Andrew at Mogul, all the NFTs, so I just want to make sure everybody understands. There's 11 total NFTs. Never before seen. behind the scenes clips, and here's what I just discovered that's really cool. Apparently, a red carpet event, and if you win one of these, you get invited to the red carpet event. So when does that take place, and are you going to be there?
I am going to be there. It is in September, and here's a question for you. It is on I know.
Piece of cake, piece of pie.
If you wish, but not spelled that way. September 21st.
Okay, so
Red carpet event. I will definitely be there, and I want to meet the winner. We'll hang out and have a sparkling water.
All right, so 8 deleted scene clips, 2 pieces of art from the movie that also include the invite to the red carpet event, and then 25 of the Reboot Camp poster NFTs that include a custom digital copy of the movie customized by the lead actor, who you've praised, and the director with a personalized introduction. So for $150, there's only 25 of those. They don't get the red carpet event, but they do get a really cool piece.
Yeah, that's yeah. And there's like that 1 of 25. See, like this thing I've got is 1 of 1.
What do you got? Ziploc baggies? That's a whole thing of them.
Yes. But, things like that. This is 1 of 25.
Okay.
So that's got its value going back to Ethereum.
The drop date is September 16th and mogulproductions.com. The event date is September 21st. So if you're planning on bidding on one of these and winning it, you might want to I'm assuming the red carpet event is in LA.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you know where? Is it at the Chinese
it's
Theater?
at the Egyptian. I'm looking for my glasses right now, guys.
They're
How much is that, Steve, to buy it? Yeah, but how much is it to buy it?
kind, and I've of course seen The Office from beginning to end, every episode, probably 7 or 8 times. I'm a super.
You have too.
Yeah, it is.
I hear that story all the time. We could do an entire hour on why we think this. Look, this is unlike any piece of television in the history of the medium. There's no show like The Office that has this wide and diverse an audience where they've found something that is so deeply personal to them, that speaks to their lives, that gets them through hard times. I mean, I hear stories all the time, but most often that they've watched the entire 9 episodes multiple times.
Anybody watching this live now, that fella there, Langy, he has a face for radio. Yeah, face for radio on a 89.7 I don't like looking at him.
I'm sure someone's going to do one. I used to have a simple explanation for it, in that kids that come to it in high school would watch it to see how ridiculous adults are, right? And then they watch it in college thinking that the workplace that I'm going to enter soon is not that intimidating. And then when they're in the workplace, they go, yep, there's idiots all around. Thank God I'm not one of them, just like The Office. But now we've got 7-year-olds watching. And they don't get all the jokes. And my parents will tell me, well, we don't let them watch all of it. But they like the sarcasm, because they're starting to understand sarcasm. But there's something even deeper to the whole series that I haven't quite put my finger on. But I'll come back when I figure that one out.
Whatever it is, it's established itself as a cornerstone of our cultural sort of collective conscious. That's just going to stay there probably for decades. But I am curious to know whether you have any entertaining stories of being on set, either for The Office or for filming Anchorman.
Not as much as people want to hear. I know that there are people go, do you guys play pranks on each other? I don't like pranks, and I wouldn't appreciate it if some assholes pulling pranks on me at work, right? Oh, you filled my shoes with shaving cream. I've got to go on set. Okay, that's not funny. That's not being an adult to me. But I will say the only interesting story I have from The Office is they were having trouble casting the role. And this is the first season. It may have been episode 2 or 3, and they couldn't cast the role. And then I wasn't in town. I was up in Canada shooting snakes on a plane, and you're welcome. And then I came back and I got a phone call. Apparently they couldn't cast it, so Steve Carell, who I've known since 1990, says to Greg Daniels, "How about Keckner?" And I don't know if he finished the sentence this way. "How about Keckner? He's an asshole." No, but that's how it came about. And so, it was just the first of 6 episodes. I was a huge fan of the British version of The Office. I still am. And this character is the same as the Finchy character. Have you watched the British version?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Packer is basically Finchy. Finchy's much worse, I believe, than Packer.
Finchy's worse, definitely.
Yes. But that's how it came to be. So that's my anecdotes from The Office.
Where do you draw from? Because he's such a douche, right? The character Todd Packer, the Pac-Man, is just the ultimate douche canoe. And do you get to pull from a place in you that you wish you could, be sometimes when you do that? Where does that come from?
I'll be honest. It's so well written, obviously. So that's enough. But then I get to have the joy of saying horrible things I would never say in my real life. So just go and enjoy it. I describe Packer as this. He's an uninvited guest at a party. And then he demands that you draw him a nice warm bubble bath. He goes into the bubble bath, splashes out all the water, gets out, uses all your towels, then walks through your house naked, through a children's party, and exits and leaves with someone else's car.
But you forgot takes a shit in the boss's office.
Allegedly, it's never said. That's one of the most popular Todd Packer episodes. I never appear in the episode.
That's right. That's right. Just your poop.
I left you a package under your desk. It's never said that it's poop, right?
Well, I mean,
I know it's all we think it is, but it could have been 5-day-old sushi.
And then it's okay. Then he's fine with that. Oh, it was Todd's, poop.
Yes, we know that Packer took a shit in Michael's office.
You mentioned that it would be cool to break down. Brian Baumgartner, who of course played Kevin Malone on the series, did a podcast on Spotify called An Oral History of The Office, where he and cast and crew kind of, broke down the meaning of this show. I think part of it is you were talking.
The sound of the womb, if you ever listen on a sonogram, it calms people's nerves.
It's such a good show. The writing is so amazing. The character, Dwight he's so insane, but he's endearing at the same time.
Yes. He doesn't know it, and all he wants is the best for everybody. But he just assumes they're all doing it wrong. That's the only issue.
Yes, even if it means locking everybody in the office for a fire drill.
For their own good. Yes. I'll make you better. That's my methods that are unsound. Where can we watch the film Reboot Camp, where you can get a great idea of what you might be missing in the deleted scenes, and therefore be more interested to own part of it from something beautifully, an NFT created beautifully by Mogul, the leader in NFT. It's on like your subscription services like Apple, Hulu, Vudu, I believe. So many of these. You kids are better versed than I, and I think we're going to drop in something on the podcast that's going to lead them to all the places. But it's a film that I think you'll all be delighted to watch. It was certainly fun to make.
Excellent, and we will be watching it. I have to, you said there weren't many crazy stories on the set of the show. You're very much about the art and the business of doing your job. Basically, is what you're doing. But there have to be some clowns. Is Steve the clown? Is Will the clown?
I'm the clown. I'm loud and like to have fun.
Okay, just no pranks.
sometimes to a distraction. So sometimes I have to remember to be quiet today, David. But I will not. To me, I like to make sure the entire crew feels like we're all doing this together. I like to get to know the crew. I'll say hello to everybody. Because to me, that's what a film is. We're all working together to make this. So I'll tend to, I might hang out with the crew and somebody at craft service more than I do the actors. Like, I don't like to just sit behind the monitor and watch. I like to walk around the whole set and see what everybody's up to, how everyone's feeling, that kind of thing. So I guess I'm the clown. Plus, I also like cracking people up, getting some laughs. So I'll bet you there's stories about me that I don't know to tell that they could tell.
And we're going to call them in for the next episode. The truth about David Cameron. Zach, do you have any other questions you'd like to pop in?
Yeah, I want to try and learn one more thing here. So I want to know if the roles of Champ Kind and Todd Packer align with one of those comedic archetypes that you talked about briefly before, and if that is like reflective of your favorite one or what your favorite one is.
Well, they're kind of a combination. The thing that they have in common is they're both misogynist, racist, xenophobic, jingoistic, and filled with self-loathing, and they have no sense of self. So they're living outside of themselves the whole time, trying to figure out who they are, and also cover their pain. They won't investigate their pain, so they'll drown it with drugs and alcohol, in my estimation. So that's their similarities. But their approach is a bit different. I think the biggest difference is Champ is much angrier and much more desperate than Todd Packer. I'd say Packer has more confidence than Champ Kind. And Champ, I believe, has a real necessity for close-knit relationships, where Packer is a lone wolf who feeds on prey. And Champ is a survivor, but he's not a hunter. Packer is a survivor and a hunter.
It'll be really interesting to revisit both of those with that commentary in mind.
Yeah. I had to go look up classic quotes, and I'd forgotten this one. I will smash your face into a car windshield and take your mother, Dorothy Mantooth, out for a delicious seafood dinner, and then never call her again.
Right. And I'll tell you an anecdote about that. The original one was, I'll tie your mother, Dorothy Mantooth, up to a chair and drive golf balls at her. And so I think
also funny,
but it's very violent. And this one is so much smarter and meta. Steve Carell and I were hanging out in our trailer together, and I said, I got this idea for because Adam McKay will always let us do alternate lines. And so I had a half an idea for it. And then it was smash your face through the car windshield, and then take your mother out on a date. But Steve added nice seafood dinner, which I never would have come up with. Steve's from Massachusetts, so they eat fish there. I'm from Missouri, we eat steak. So the idea that I'll take her out for a nice seafood dinner, but the other part of, and never call her again, is the true lifetime of torture. Because if someone drove golf balls at your head, that's one day, it's over, they were just awful men. But if a person did something nice for you, took you out to a nice seafood dinner, and then never called you again, that mystery will haunt you the rest of your life. So it's a much worse proposition.